Okay. Hey, I'm Jenny from Bearded Goat Trail Running.
I'm Adam.
And welcome to the weekly broadcast. And this week we're going to be talking about running with family and friends. I'm sure many of you have gone for a vacation or for a run and have had either family or friends with you. So we came up with a couple of really fun ideas how to incorporate or to kind of, find time to run around friends and family.
Yeah, I think this was kind of born out of several of the trips we've taken and been on, and family and friends come along, and that's awesome. But a lot of times, it doesn't always work out perfectly. Either as a runner, you feel like you're not getting enough time, or you feel kind of pressured. I want to go do a 20-mile mountain run, but that's going to take 6 hours or something, and then the family is wondering what and the heck is going on. What's this person doing? If you've got kids, how do you deal with that? Sometimes, you go on a trip with friends and they don't really get what's going on, or you don't want them to be left out. So we've thought about this over time, and we came up with a couple of ways, mostly with family. Yeah. But, this applies with friends as well. And so we just wanted to share some of the ways we do.
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing that we always think about when we start planning vacations and running trails or running in general is planning. So when you're planning ahead of time to go for, trail runs, if you're going with friends and family, it's awesome to invite them, and to think of trails and
plans just
that
activities.
You can include them with.
Definitely. So just, start before the trip.
Yeah.
So, if you include people, they're obviously going to be much more interested. And this doesn't mean you've got to spend, a ton of time doing homework and all that, but one trip in particular, I think we've talked about it before when we went to Colorado. We had family meet us after the race, and we were going to spend 2 or 3 days up in the mountains with them. So we just kind of threw together some ideas of things that they might be interested in. Obviously they're up in the mountains. So we said, hey, here's some really popular trails. Here's some rafting. Why don't you guys take a look at this? And you should find something that you're really interested in doing. And, we had a few things we wanted to go do with them, but we just said, hey, we'd be up for doing any of this with you guys. Just find something. And I think that really helped them to but to be engaged. And then once they looked, they started finding other things. And so I think that you kind of have the snowball effect of instead of just, hey, come on this trip or meet us somewhere, and then them kind of expecting you to, be the tour guide the whole time. Yeah.
Well, and it's fun too, because they can then get interested in going on trails that you want to go on. And then one of the things we really like to do is if we have family along, to invite them to go on a hike, and then we can go for a run at the same time on the same trail. And basically, you've got the person hiking and then us running, and then you come back.
So we'll do like a mile or two, just, it's good warm up, get some hiking in, talk, and then we'll take off and either meet them back, do an out and back, or maybe a loop or something. Or I guess the other thing would be a loop. Pick a shorter loop, and if they're runners, maybe, but they don't want to run as much or as far as you could do a loop with them and then go out, do your own thing. If it's a hike, you can do a loop hiking and then go out and do a loop. I am totally distracted. There are birds tapping on the window, and it is crazy.
We have a little bird feeder that hangs on the window anyway, and they're tapping on the window, which is entertaining. Anyway, one of the things we like to do, we do all of our long runs most of our long runs on Saturdays. And we have quite a few friends who also like to run, but they don't necessarily like to run the same distances we do. So we like to do loops, or we'll do, we'll have them meet us at a specific place. So they don't necessarily have to do, 20 or 30 miles. They can do 8 with us, and then we can go off on our own, or we'll do 12 ahead of time and then run with them. So that's also another way that you can get your friends involved, even if they don't want to do the longer distances, is to run some of it with you.
I found that to be fun. And I'm trying to think, we're going to be going to Denver in the fall, and we have friends who don't run, but we're going to go out and do stuff. I mean, they'll come out and we'll find some trails. They'll probably just be in town. I know Denver's, I can never remember the name of the trail system. It's like the groomed trail. I mean, it's mostly a path, I guess is the right word. So we'll probably go out with them and walk, and then, maybe we can go out and do a mile or two, literally just walking with them. But then we can go out and run from there, and, it's just good to include them. And then, it's just kind of a good time, get some healthy activities in the midst of all the other stuff. So
And if you have kids, you know, going for a short loop with them, maybe like a mile or two if they want to go, getting them involved and getting them active, you know, I mean, I think that's priceless.
Yeah, I think one of the probably the most popular, depending on your kid's age, I guess that's the toughest part. You know, if you can get them involved, you can do the same thing you do with adults. Like, hey, have you looked at, you know, these activities? Here's something I found. What, you know, give them, you know, have them hop on the computer, or you give, you know, and have them start looking, you know, is there like a park or, you know, something like that. But also, you know, maybe popping them, renting a bike if you're traveling and having them ride while you run.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a little harder to do on trails depending on where you're at, but yeah.
Yeah. Another thing we really, we look at is timing. So some of our friends really like to sleep in, which is not a problem for us because that means that we can wake up early, go for a run before everybody wakes up, and then manage to get back and have breakfast together, or you know, mimosas. But, you know, really start thinking about timing. You know, can you fit it in when maybe if you have kids, they're occupied with, you know, an activity, maybe they're at a museum, or then you can sneak out, go for a run then, or go for a run after they've gone to bed or before they wake up. So timing's important.
Yeah, and if it's a race, you know, that's another thing too, is timing. You know, if it's a race and like your family's there, obviously then that you don't really time the race, but you know, that's your time. And then maybe, you know, leading up to that or afterwards, you know, then you kind of time those runs around the family so that maybe they can fit in some activities or something.
Oh, and something I just thought of that we didn't plan for ahead of time was one of our friends who has kids really likes to have his kids go and work at aid stations at races.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so fun because then, you know, you'll get to see them during the race. Usually there's volunteers that, you know, can kind of also volunteer to babysit.
Yeah, well, it's cool. They usually get involved. You know, it's normal. Not everything's exciting, you know, at a race, but at least that way they get more involved and kind of get to see that some of the people. So.
And then they'll be there for you at the end of the race too. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is going to do it. This is pretty short. We just want to share some of the ideas we've had because at first, I'm not going to lie, you know, we had some experiences where it's like, you know, people, you know, miss timings, like, why are you guys, you know, people feel like we're not spending enough time with them, or, you know, vice versa, like we're not getting enough time. So after talking to other runners, like it turns out that this is something that I guess a lot of people deal with.
Yeah.
So. Well, thanks for joining us. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click below to subscribe or visit the website. So, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.